Good afternoon, and we are reaching the end of Season 1, Chapter 5 of Fortnite. And it's been an interesting season. Of course, we now have a lot more stuff going on. We have Pandora's box open, we have the giant hand on the map, and I think now, just as we're literally days away from the kickoff of Chapter 5 Season 2, which is looking to be an insane season, and we know that Fortnite love to pop off in Season 2s of their chapters. You can just look back through history. It's like, this was like, back in Chapter 2, Season 2 was the Midas season. So, we know that Fortnite like to pop off in their Season 2s and their chapters. And it's going to be really interesting to see what this chapter brings, because it's going to be gods. We've already seen a Zeus teaser, so this is going to be insane. But that's not what we're looking at in this video. Let's look back at Season 1, Chapter 5, where a lot has changed, a lot has gone on, maybe not as much as people would want. Let's review it, let's take a look back, and let's remember this chapter fondly, this season fondly, shall we? But before we do that, if you do like the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and if you hit the notification icon, you will be kept up to date with all of the up and coming content as we roll into Season 2 Chapter 5, alongside obviously the other LEGO Fortnite content and stuff, which will probably get quite a substantial update with the turn of the season, I would hope. And of course, if you want to support the channel in a monetary way, we have memberships active as well. So you can do that, and it is very much appreciated. Alongside, if you do buy anything in the Fortnite item shop, etc., please use a creator code of any content creator that you do wish to support. Mine is Danconia, but it does not cost anything to support someone, and it is very much appreciated by whoever you do support. But Chapter 5 Season 1 has been... it's been interesting because it kicked off in a very flamboyant way. Of course, we had the massive event, sort of the redo event of the Rocket event at the end of Season OG in Chapter 4. And this introduced us not only to a new era of Battle Royale and Zero Build, but also Fortnite festivals and LEGO Fortnite, which has expanded Fortnite further into an omniverse, into a massive crossover that's only going to get bigger as time goes on, with the news during this season about them linking up fully with Disney. Is going to be massive going into the future, but of course that's going to take time. So that was one of the big news. That was a slot of big news from this season. But we won't be going into festivals and LEGO because that's not really a massive part. We're going to focus on the Battle Royale and Zero Build here. And one major thing that Season 1 of Chapter 5 introduced was weapon mods. This is something that Fortnite had never seen before. This is something that had existed in other Battle Royales such as Warzone. But this was new to Fortnite, the weapon mods that you could have. They spanned most weapons, although some of the weapons introduced later on in the season, like the lock-on pistol, couldn't use mods, nor could the Anvil rocket launcher. But the sniper rifle, the two ARs, so the Striker and the Nemesis AR could both use them, the original ARs, and then later on introduced the Enforcer AR, which could also use them. We also had the SMG and the Thunderburst SMG, Hyper and Thunderburst SMG, both of them could use mods alongside, obviously, the shotguns in the game, which were the pump shotgun, the hammer pump shotgun, and the Frenzy auto shotgun. Now, the mods had various different sort of benefits when it comes to drum magazines for higher capacity mags. You could get faster reloads. You could get obviously different scopes, which was one of the primary uses in my opinion for mods. Also, you could get things like silencers and things that would reduce your recoil, so it would make you much more accurate, which was a massive benefit for something like the Thunderburst SMG, which a lot of people will say that was the best SMG in the entire game this season. A lot of people, including myself, used to use, if you could get the rightly equipped Thunderburst SMG at a mod bench, which were introduced obviously this season, in the vaults, which we'll go over in a minute. But if you get the right Thunderburst SMG, you could use it instead of an AR. It was really powerful. The Striker versus the Nemesis AR, now we're talking of ARs, was much more of a coin flip on what you preferred. I personally preferred the Nemesis AR, but that's obviously down to personal preference. And when it comes to the Hammer Pump Shotgun and the Frenzy Auto Shotgun, I think most people, from what I've seen and what I've experienced, in zero build will use a Frenzy Auto Shotgun. In builds, obviously it leans much more to Hammer Pump Shotgun with edit shots. So I can understand the difference here, but obviously they're both universal and could be used in either situation. And they all basically, apart from the snipers, had their mythic options as well, which we'll go over in a minute. When it comes to the snipers, this is where things got a little bit controversial, because we all know about Sniper Glint in Fortnite and how even back in previous chapters, if a sniper was aiming down scopes, you would see a glint to be a warned of someone aiming. That carried over into the season, but it only existed for certain scopes on the sniper. So if you equipped, if it didn't have a scope, if you equipped a 1.15 or 1.3 scope, you wouldn't get glint on a sniper, which to this day I think is pretty controversial and is something I perhaps would like to see them change and attach the glint to the sniper, not the scope. As much as that might not make realistic sense, I think it makes good gameplay sense. So we'll see what happens. But alongside that, alongside the vaults where you could get high rarity stuff and these mod benches and weapon caches, you would have to have a medallion to open these vaults. So there were a swathe of medallions across the map. We had Oscar's medallion, we have Valeria's medallion, we have Montague's medallion, we have Nisha's medallion, we have Peter Griffin's medallion. All of these medallions obviously opened up a vault, but also gave mythic weapons. So Peter Griffin gave a mythic hammer pump shotgun, Oscar gave a mythic frenzy auto shotgun, Montague gave a mythic Nemesis AR, Valeria gives a mythic hyper SMG, and Nisha gives a mythic striker AR. There was no mythic there was no mythic Thunderburst SMG, and there was no mythic sniper. So I think that was kind of good, because the Thunderburst SMG was really good anyway. And some of the variants you could make in the mod benches obviously were kind of better than the mythics at times. So that kind of depended on what you would do. But those medallions early in the season would give you 50 HP straight off the bat, 100 HP straight off the bat, in fact. But then they were heavily nerfed. And I think the nerf was good, but the nerf was so impactful to medallions where you'd need all of them to get 100 HP, or 100 shields I should say. They became very useless. So I think, especially in the second half of the season, we've seen medallions utilized a little less than they were early in the season, where they were very, very strong, and you'd be very fearful of someone going around the map with a medallion on them, because you could see it on the map. That obviously ring around them saying, hey, there's someone here, they have a medallion in this sort of area. Your choice whether you want to go and challenge them or whether you want to stay away from them. So I think the medallions are a neat concept. I think we're going to see the medallions probably carry over into the next season. Whether they're the same medallions, we don't know. Probably not, but we don't know. And then obviously the mythics might change. We'll see what happens in season 2, chapter 5. Super interesting. Cars also had a little bit of an overhaul this season. So now, obviously, with the crossover with Rocket League in Rocket Racing, which was also introduced this season, you have the ability to change the look of your sports car to whatever your inventory locker says, which is really cool. I think that's really sick. But we didn't just have the sports cars, which were your regular sort of thing. They had boost. Cars that didn't have boost but had a lot more health were the armored trucks, SUVs. I like to call them SUVs. I know they have a proper name, but I'll call them SUVs. These things can fit 4 people in them. They have a lot of health and were a really good way to traverse the map, even though they are kind of slower than the sports car. But I think it was a really cool addition. I really like the cars. It makes the gameplay much more interactive and, you know, much faster paced. And especially early on in the season, there was a slight lack of movement with only the grapple blade and shockwaves in the game. But as we went on, we're going to talk about this in a minute, we got more movement options available to us. Of course, this season was not without its crossovers. The two main ones being Family Guy, of course, Peter Griffin being on the map in the entire season as a boss you could kill to get a mythic hammer pump shotgun and the medallion. But also, other Family Guy stuff has come to the shop, such as the Big Chicken, which was a very, should we say, controversial skin for the size it was. And obviously, when Peter Griffin was introduced to Fortnite, thanks to Meowscles, he got a bit of a buff makeover instead of being the normal Peter Griffin that everyone is used to on Family Guy day in, day out. So that was an interesting one, but followed up by that, midway through the season, we had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles also make an appearance on the island. These were really good. I think this is one of the best crossovers I've seen in Fortnite. So of course, it gave us skins. Of course, it gave us limited time challenges. It gave us exclusive stuff. It gave us a little event pass as well to get a Shredder skin and various emotes. All of the emotes of which I believe were free. Especially the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones. Not the Shredder emotes, but the Turtle ones were actually free. Which I think is crazy good in a respect. Big respect to that for Fortnite as well. But I think the highlight of this was the mythics that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles introduced. The 4 different mythics for each of the Ninja Turtles. They all had the same base properties. They all offered movement, a little bit of melee damage and stuff like that. But they were really cool to use. I didn't find them janky whatsoever. They weren't overpowered. And it also saw the return of supply drops, which I love supply drops. I'm a big fan of it. Ever since OG seasons. Back in Chapter 1, I love and miss supply drops, and it was nice to hear that on the map. You'd know that a supply drop is coming down. So I was a real big fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle mythics that were on the map during the event time. Of course, they are gone now towards the end of the season. We will see if any other new movement or mythics come next season. I would assume they will do at some point. Whether that's with the new season or whether that's an event crossover that might happen during the season. It'll be interesting, but big props to Fortnite and a TMNT crossover, because that was a real good one. Really, really good one. And then, of course, as we drew to a close this season, we've seen the return of mini in-game live events, which is something I believe we haven't seen since Chapter 3. So it's cool. I love these mini events. I love any events in Fortnite, to be honest, when they're just live in-game stuff that it's really unexpected. It's really cool, and it's stuff you really don't want to miss out on. Seeing that hand emerge out of the ground with Pandora's box chained to it, and then of course spending the entire, I think, 24 hours just shooting, pickaxing, whatever damage you could do to Pandora's box to open it, to release whatever was inside. And now we have it open. We have this big orange vortex tornado of bad stuff coming out of it, and it's going to lead so well into next season. I've kind of hoped for more stuff. I kind of hoped for like anarchy and craziness on the island in this last week before the next season starts, because Pandora's box is open. Maybe stuff will come. I know this video is going out a couple of days before the next season starts, so maybe, but man, it's interesting, and it's generated so much hype for the next season. And I love mini events. I love events in general in Fortnite. Keep them coming, because man, I'll be in for them. Love it, love it, love it. But then obviously, to round this review look back at Season 1, Chapter 5, I don't think we can leave out the Battle Pass. So looking at this season's Battle Pass, it's probably not been the best Battle Pass we've seen in Fortnite, because, you know, Fortnite has had some really, really good Battle Passes, but I do highly rate the Valeria skin. I do think it is really cool. Obviously, it has its built-in emote and stuff like that, so I think this has been an okay Battle Pass. Obviously, you get Peter Griffin in it. It depends if you're a fan of Peter Griffin or not. I'm not a massive fan of the Montague skin. That's my personal preference. Nisha, I'm not a massive fan of. So again, all comes down to personal preference. A lot of these skins I won't use that regularly, apart from probably Hope and Valeria, because they're my type of skin. And then when we look The bonus styles, they're very different. Obviously the stained glass theme is very unique, it's very different. I'm kind of here for it, but it's also a little bit weird, but that was our total, that was our top end. And then you had these sort of prismatic Tesoro, which is, again, I think it's trying to go more on the Italian sort of European theme that's really hitting this season, but it's not, again, a massive highlight for me. I do, however, like these expressionist purple variants. I do think they're really good, and I think they're probably, for me, the best out of the super styles that we've had this season. It would be nice to see some extra stuff next season that's a little bit different, maybe a secret skin, something like that, to really keep things going. And of course, we also had Solid Snake as part of it this season as well. I would say the Solid Snake skin's a bit of a sweaty skin from what I've seen and played this season, but, it's cool stuff, and we'll never say no. Quest rewards were great as always. The infamous Peter Copter was in there, and I'm sure a lot of people copped it just specifically for the Peter Copter. But I think this Hope variant is one of the best variants I've seen this season, down to personal preference, and I'm not going to complain about this season's Battle Pass. I think it is a good one. Again, there have been better, but there have been a lot worse. So that will wrap it up for our review and look back at Season 1, Chapter 5 of Fortnite. It has been a pleasure this season to come back to Fortnite and do content on it back this season. I think it's really reignited the Fortnite sort of the grip on that the Fortnite has in the BR world, and how cool it is to play, because there are the battle royales that are quite sweaty, and Fortnite can be quite sweaty, but it also has some of the best, silliest and stupidest moments, and it's still right up there. It's a great game, and I am really looking forward to Chapter 5 Season 2, because I think this is going to be insane for sure. But if you do like this, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, stay tuned for more content coming. Chapter 5 Season 2 is just around the corner, and I will see you when it drops. Bye bye.